song with the army of the free. Count the brave, count the true, who have fought to victory. We're the army and proud of our name. We're the army and proudly proclaim. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won, and the army goes rolling along. And it's high, high, hey, the army's on its way. Count off the cane is loud and strong. For wherever we go, you will always know that the army goes rolling along. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won, and the army goes rolling along. And it's high, high, hey, the army's on its way.
Being here and joining the first cabinet meeting of 2019. It's going to be a very exciting year. I think it's going to be a very good year. Some people think it'll be controversial and tough, and it probably will, but we're going to get a lot done. I think we can work with the Democrats actually and get quite a bit done. And we're looking at infrastructure. We're looking at many things that can happen. I think that both sides want. We just did a very big and very highly touted criminal justice reform bill, and that's a very bipartisan thing, and we finish off the year with that. We had a tremendous year in terms of achievement, whether it's regulation cuts or tax cuts or anything else you can name. So many things we did, judges, including 2 Supreme Court judges and many federal bench judges. So we've had quite a time, and we're going to have, I think, 6 more years of great success, but I think this coming year is going to be tremendous, actually. Every day, Border Patrol encounters roughly 2,000 illegal immigrants. I have to talk about this. Trying to enter our country, 2,000 a day, and that's a minimum. Every week, 300 Americans are killed by heroin, the vast majority of which comes across through our southern border. Our southern border is like a sieve. It just pours through our southern border. And unless we're going to have physical barriers, it's never going to be able to be stopped. Too much money is being made. Last month, 20,000 minors were illegally smuggled into the United States. In the last 2 years, ICE officers arrested 235,000 criminals who were able to come in over the years through the United States. And we have a very tough border. I think you see that even last night, where people charged the border, tried to get through, but they couldn't because we have a wall up. And but tear gas was flying, and a lot of things were happening, and I guess for the most part, you've seen it. It's very sad. If they knew they had a physical barrier, if they knew they had a wall, if they knew they had something that's going to stop them, they would have never come up in the first place. When you see children getting sick, they get sick on the trail up. Very sick. It's a terrible journey. It's a horrible journey. You read the things that go on in those caravans. And if they knew they couldn't get through, they wouldn't even start. Another one's forming in Honduras. And we've very much lowered the payments to Honduras and to a few other countries that are not playing right, because there's no reason for caravans to be forming. They shouldn't allow it to happen. The United States needs a physical barrier, needs a wall to stop illegal immigration and to halt deadly inflow of drugs and crime. You have human traffickers. It's a thing that's horrible. Think of it, human trafficking. They kidnap people, they steal people, and they sell people. And because of the internet, one of the bad things that happens with the internet, one of the many bad things, but because of the internet, it's the highest it's ever been in history. And this is a world problem. This isn't a United States situation. This is a world problem. But the southern border is a very, very highly used place by people that do human trafficking. How could it get worse than that? There's a reason why politicians and wealthy people build walls around their houses and their compounds. President Obama recently built a wall around his compound. There's a reason for it, and I don't blame him. we're in a shutdown because Democrats refuse to fund the border security. They try and make it like it's just about the wall, and it is about the wall. I said over the weekend to a number of people that, the wheel, the wall, there are some things that never get old. It's never going to change. The wall is your number one point of security. If we had a wall, and we will, and by the way, for those that don't know, we don't want to talk about it all the time, but we've done tremendous amounts of renovation of existing walls and fences and brought them back into brand new condition. We've spent a lot of money on it, doing it properly. So we have a lot of brand new fencing. If you saw last night, they tried to come through a wall area. The wall existed. If it didn't exist, you would have had hundreds of people just flowing into our country. Some of these are criminals. Some of these will split up families by killing people and hurting people very badly. But if we didn't have a form of barrier up last night, you would have had a lot of people, all those people would have been able to come through. We're in the shutdown because of the fact that the Democrats are looking to 2020. They think they're not going to win the election. I guess a lot of signs point to the fact that they're not going to win the election. I hope they're not going to win the election. But they view this as an election point for them. I actually think it's bad politics, but I'm not thinking about the politics.
All right, folks, welcome. My name is Jen. I'm from Golden State Times. This is our very first live stream of 2019. I hope that you guys had a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I hope that 2018 was good for every single one of you, and I hope that 2019 is a lot better. This is, again, our first live stream of 2019. We're awaiting footage from inside the venue where CBP Commissioner Kevin McKillian, I hope I said that right, is going to have a press briefing on border security. So there is a crisis going on, as you know, on the southern border with Mexico, and CBP Commissioner is set to deliver a press briefing on the crisis at the border. So it should be coming up on your screen in just a few minutes. We're awaiting live footage from the place where it's going to happen. So it's scheduled to start in just a few minutes. So make sure you guys please share the live stream on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Gab, on Reddit, on any of those social media sites. If you're part of the groups on Facebook or on Twitter or on Gab or any of those social media sites, please share it on there too. This is very important, folks, because the battle for border funding is still going on between Congress and between the White House. The president is not negotiating. He is standing firm of the over $5 billion that he needs to finish up the rest of the border wall, or the steel slats, like he says. So that's what's going on right now, folks. We should get footage in just a few minutes, so please share the live stream. If you're new, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the chat.
I'm thinking about what's right and what's wrong. And we need a physical barrier. Everything else is bells and whistles. I know more about drones than anybody. I know about every form of safety that you can have. And it's all good, but it's just very minor compared to the power of a wall. All of the people you see coming up, if they knew we actually had a physical presence there, a physical barrier, even when you have the soldiers who have been fantastic, we've had our military. But when you have the military, you have Border Patrol, you have ICE. It doesn't, I mean, it's great to have, but you have 2,000 miles. You have anywhere from 500 to 600 miles where you need the barrier. Some of it we've now completed, as you have seen and as I've told you. But we need barrier because you can't put a soldier every 100 yards. If you had a lot of people, you're going to put them every 100 yards. People are going to go right through. There's nothing you can do about it unless you're willing to build a wall. And walls work. If you look at Israel, I was with Prime Minister Netanyahu. And he threw up his hands. He said, I don't understand why they fight you in a wall. In Israel, as you know, they built a wall. He said 99.9% it works. And it would with us too. It would work almost 100% of the time. And would have much less of a problem. And we'd save money so much money on a monthly basis. Probably would pay for itself in a month or two, because we lose pretty close to $250 billion on illegal immigration. And I would say that it could be on a monthly or a couple of months, it would pay for the wall, pay for what we're talking about. The House, as you know, approved $5.6 billion. And that's a very small price to pay for total security on the southern border. The drugs alone, that nobody can even calculate, it's such a big number. The money you'd save just on drugs and helping families where all of this horrible stuff doesn't come through on the southern border, right there you'd save, and you'd save a lot. The new Pelosi bill, and by the way, we're having, I guess they call them the Big Eight, so the Big Eight plus me are meeting in a little while. I think it was going to be 3 o'clock to discuss the border. We have ICE and we have Border Patrol. They're going to make a plea for the wall. They need the wall. They can't do it without the wall. All they can do is add many, many more men and women, but the protection isn't good, because you're going to go to a certain area, you don't have the wall, they're going to walk right through. Like the killing that took place a few days ago, the young police officer, great young, beautiful person, great family, just took a picture with his son and his wife for Christmas, and a few hours later he was shot and killed by somebody that just came across the border. Things like that wouldn't happen, or certainly they'd be happening far, far less. Now, the Democrats in the bill want $12 billion additional for foreign aid. They want $12 billion more. It's $54.4 billion, which is by itself a lot. But in foreign aid, they want $12 billion over the $54 billion. Think of it. We give $54 billion, a lot of it because they want to give it. They don't even know who they're giving it to. In many cases, people don't even know the name of the country. They know nothing about the country. And yet, so they're going to give $54.4 billion in foreign aid, but they want $12 billion more than that in foreign aid, but they won't approve $5.6 billion for a wall that's going to pay for itself almost on a monthly basis. It's just politics, folks. It's purely politics. So we have a lot of loopholes, whether it's catch and release, the world's most ridiculous loophole. You catch somebody and then you release them. Now what we're doing is we're catching and retaining. The problem is we have to build vast fields of rooms and places for these people to stay that we're catching, and it's physically not possible, nor is it possible even cost-wise. But we're catching and retaining. You have the lottery system, the visa lottery system, where we bring people into our country based on a lottery. We want to end all of this nonsense, the visa lottery system, so they pick them out of a jar. We want to pick people to come into our country on the basis of merit and talent, so that all of the companies that are moving in, we have large numbers of companies, many, many companies, more than we've seen in many years. The companies that have left our country are coming back because of what's going on. You see, our job numbers are great. We need people to come in, but we can't have these loopholes. These loopholes are crazy. One thing I have to say, DACA. We are all for DACA. The Republicans are for doing something with DACA. But it's not working. We had the confines of a deal. And the $25 billion didn't just cover a wall. It covered a lot of border security. We have a lot of that. It's been covered very incorrectly, but it's confusing to a lot of people. But we were close to having a DACA deal. And then we had a judge rule from the Ninth Circuit, amazing ruling. And he said DACA was okay, even though when President Obama signed it, he essentially said, well, probably can't sign this, probably not legal, but I'm going to sign it anyway. And so everybody thought that it was going to be easily overturned by the judge. And the judge amazingly ruled in favor of that signing, even though President Obama didn't think it was going to hold up as he signed it. He said it. Go back and check. And then you had it upheld in the Ninth Circuit on appeal, and now it's going to the Supreme Court of the United States. We had a deal pretty close to being done. And a lot of people say I backed away from that deal. I didn't back away. The minute the judge overruled the case and they allowed DACA, they didn't talk to us about, and I don't blame them, they didn't answer the calls. They said, well, we're not going to prove that. We won the case. Why should we make a deal with DACA? I think it's going to be overturned in the United States Supreme Court, and I think it's going to be overwhelmingly overturned.
All right, folks, so we have footage from inside. Oh, okay, hold on. Give me 1 second, folks. So it looks like we have a surprise White House press conference. It looks like Sarah Sanders is the one that's going to introduce the CBP commissioner for his press conference. So it's going to be happening at the White House press briefing room. So stay tuned. We have footage right now. We're going to be putting it up on your screen right now.
I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and welcome back, everybody, as we await and look to press briefing here at the White House. We've just received word about 9 minutes ago. We have a briefing of some sort in the session. No word about the subject matter.
Is it going? Is this two? Yeah. I'm ready. So more than two. Be ready. Okay.
How many minutes?
I hear.
All right, folks, just give me a second as the hot mic gets turned back on. So give me a second as I get that fixed. But this is live footage from inside the press briefing room at the White House. It says, Sarah Sanders holds surprise White House press briefing. So we don't know if this is going to be connected with the CBP commissioner's press conference, but we're going to stay here at the White House and see how it plays out. Everybody is, it's all up in the air. Nobody knows what's going on. So we're going to stay here at the White House press briefing with Sarah Sanders coming up as I get more information. Thank you so much. This is live footage, again, from the White House. Again, folks, we are trying to fix the hot mic so we can turn it back on. But there is a surprise Sarah Sanders press conference that's going to happen in just a few minutes. We haven't gotten word yet to see if it's connected to the CBP press conference that was originally scheduled. So it could happen that the CBP commissioner is going to have the press conference at the White House along with Sarah Sanders. So we're going to have to see what's going on with that, folks. Even the mainstream media is in a frenzy right now. They don't know what's going on. But we do know that CBP commissioner is set to have a press conference. And now Sarah Sanders is going to have a press briefing at the White House. So stay tuned live here at Golden State Times. This is live footage from inside the White House. Well, we're awaiting Sarah Sanders in this surprise White House press briefing. Please share the live stream on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Gab, on Reddit, on any of those social media sites. If you're part of the groups on Facebook or on Twitter or on Gab, please share it on there too. Thank you so much for your support. This is our first live stream of 2019. We hope that you guys enjoy, and it should start soon.
Again, this has been a day dominated by Speaker Nancy Pelosi in that exclusive interview with Stan Guthrie. She talked about...
All right, folks, so we have the hot mic on. The hot mic is on. We're awaiting for Press Secretary Sarah Sanders. And we're also awaiting for CBP Commissioner to talk about the crisis at the border. So CBP Commissioner should be coming out also with Sarah Sanders to deliver the press conference. So stay tuned. So this is a double feature, folks, at the same time. The mainstream media is calling it a surprise White House press briefing. But as you guys know, we knew about it way before the mainstream media. So that's why we started this live stream. One thing that we did not know is that Sarah Sanders was going to come out too. So that kind of caught us by surprise. But we did know that CBP Commissioner was going to come out and deliver his press conference, which should start very soon, along with Sarah Sanders. So please share this live stream on social media. Thank you.
Yeah, I think just before, pardon me for checking my phone and my emails here, right before you tossed me, I think we saw a note from our Hill team, and I'm just trying to scroll to find that now, and I think that we will see, yes, Nancy Pelosi at the White House tomorrow, so she will definitely be here. That'll be the first time the president will come face-to-face with Speaker Pelosi, right, rather than Speaker-designate Pelosi. She will have had the gavel in her hand at that point, and the president, based on our reporting, according to multiple sources who were familiar with the discussions yesterday, the president had said at the end of that meeting, listen, everybody's pause, come back after leadership elections. After that is over, perhaps the thinking was, from the White House perspective, they would make more. At least Pelosi will be here meeting with the president, the vice president, and that negotiating team, which has also been led by Mick Mulvaney, who's been around. He was over there on the Hill today for the swearing in, as well as Jared Kushner.
Can you hear them? A few of my friends a minute to get in. Thank you all for coming on short notice, and certainly Happy New Year. Welcome back. It's good to be back. We're going to kick 2019 a minute to get in. Thank you all for coming on short notice, and certainly Happy New Year. Welcome back. It's good to be back. We're going to kick 2019 off just slightly differently, and I'd like to welcome a very special guest for an appearance here in the briefing room, our very great President Donald J. Trump.
Thank you. I just want to start off by congratulating Nancy Pelosi on being elected Speaker of the House. It's a very, very great achievement. And hopefully we're going to work together and we're going to get lots of things done, like infrastructure and so much more. I know they want to do that very badly, so do I. So hopefully we're going to have a lot of things that we can get done together. And I think it's actually going to work out. I think it'll be a little bit different than a lot of people are thinking. So I congratulate Nancy. Tremendous, tremendous achievement. And I just wanted to explain to folks that I'm with on the dais, people I've known very well over the last 2 years, people that have been extremely supportive of what we're doing on the border. They're tough, they're smart, they think, they love our country, they have every quality, and I'll tell you what, I really know them well, and they have the kind of qualities that we need in our country, and they've done a fantastic job at the border. It's ICE and it's Border Patrol, and a man who's really become a friend in a sense, Brandon, I will say this, Brandon Judd has been a stalwart in terms of justice for people, in terms of fairness, and in terms of the toughness you need. You have some pretty tough situations. It doesn't get much tougher. So I just want to thank Brandon and all of the folks. I'm going to have them introduce themselves right now and also say a few words about the wall, about, you can call it a barrier, you can call it whatever you want, but essentially we need protection in our country. We're going to make it good. The people of our country want it. I have never had so much support as I have in the last week over my stance for border security, for border control, and for, frankly, the wall or the barrier. I have never had anything like it in terms of calls coming in terms of people writing in and tweeting and doing whatever they have to do. I've never had this much support, and we've done some things that, as you know, have been very popular. So I'm going to ask Brandon Judd to just step forward and say a few words. This group has apprehended last year 17,000 criminals trying to get across the border. 17,000. And that's one category. There are plenty of others. The other thing that has been so incredible is what they've done in terms of drugs and stopping drugs. And with that, and with everything else, plenty, unfortunately, come through our southern border. But I'm going to ask Brandon to come up, say a few words, and maybe introduce our friends and some very brave people. Brandon, please. Thank you.
Thank you, President.
Thank
we
you.
really
Thank
appreciate
you.
all the support that you've given the Border Patrol. We appreciate the support that you've given ICE. My name is Brandon Judd. I'm the president of the National Border Patrol Council. I've been a Border Patrol agent for 21 years. I can personally tell you from the work that I have done on the southwest border that physical barriers, that walls actually work. You hear a lot of talk from the expert that there are experts that say that walls don't work. I promise you that if you interview Border Patrol agents, they will tell you that walls work. I worked in Naco, Arizona for 10 years. We didn't have physical barriers in Naco, and illegal immigration and drug smuggling was absolutely out of control. We built those walls, those physical barriers, and illegal immigration dropped exponentially. Anywhere that you look where we have built walls, they have worked. They have been an absolute necessity for Border Patrol agents in securing the border. We need those physical barriers, and we appreciate President Trump and all of his efforts in getting us those physical barriers. There's also a lot of talk on this shutdown that federal employees do not agree with the shutdown. I will tell you that's not true. And with that, I'd like to introduce Art Del Cueto. He is the Vice President of the National Border Patrol Council. He's also a longtime Border Patrol agent out of the Tucson sector, and he'd like to say a few words about the shutdown.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Once again, my name is Art Del Cueto. I am a Vice President with the National Border Patrol Council. And I want everybody to take the time to understand what's going on. We are all affected by this shutdown. We have skin in the game. However, it comes down to border security. And we are extremely grateful to President Trump, and we fully support what he is doing to take care of our nation's borders, to take care of the future of this United States. It has nothing to do with political parties. You all got to ask yourself this question. If I come to your home, do you want me to knock on the front door, or do you want me to climb through that window? We fully support the president and all his efforts to secure our nation's borders.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hector Garza. I'm the Vice President of the National Border Patrol Council. I am also a Border Patrol agent of the Texas border. I just want to talk about some of those criminals that Border Patrol agents apprehend on a daily basis. We're talking about murderers, rapists, people that commit very serious crimes in this country. ICE has been doing an amazing job in deporting a lot of these people back to their countries. Unfortunately, once we deport these people will not stay in their country. These criminal aliens that have been released from jail, that have been deported, will come right back into the United States. However, if we had a physical barrier, if we had a wall, we would be able to stop that. Again, we want to thank President Trump for advocating for Border Patrol agents. And again, we ask our congressmen to fund border security and fund the border wall. Thank you.
So this meeting was set up a long time ago. It just came at a very opportune time, and I thought we were all sitting in the Oval Office working on different plans and different ways of stopping the problems that we have in our country. And other countries have problems, but nobody like ours. The economy makes it even more so. The economy is bringing people in because we're doing so well with the economy. Unemployment is now 3.7%, and that's among the lowest we've ever had, lowest in 50 years. And among certain groups, it's the lowest historically. So I just appreciate them being here. I said, let's go out, see the press. You can tell them about the importance of the wall. They basically said, and I think I can take the word basically out, without a wall, you cannot have border security. Without a very strong form of barrier, call it what you will, but without a wall, you cannot have border security. It won't work. You see what's just been put out on social media where thousands of people are rushing the border. Having a drone fly overhead, and I think nobody knows much more about technology, this type of technology certainly, than I do. Having drones and various other forms of sensors, they're all fine, but they're not going to stop the problems that this country has. We've never had more people wanting to come to the United States, and that has to do with the economy and has to do with a lot of other things. We're doing great as a country, but the better we do, the more people want to come in. So, folks, I just want to thank you very much. It's an honor to be with you, and I'm glad you came. I'm glad we came out here. And the first time I've ever done this is the first time I've done it. I've done it for you, and I'm very proud of that because you have done a fantastic job. And I want to thank you all. Chris, thank you very much. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Mr. President, are you not taking any questions at all? The point of the briefing room is to take questions. Bill Shine. Bill Shine, will there be no questions from the White House today?
All right, folks. So as you guys saw, that was a surprise press conference from the president. We all thought it was going to be from Sarah Sanders. Don't go anywhere, folks, because the original one that we were supposed to do. Give me a second. So we were supposed to have a press conference from the CBP commissioner. So give me a second real quick. This was really out of the blue, folks, and is the first time it has happened, the president coming out and delivering a press conference himself. But here it is, our original programming before we got that surprise visit from the president. Here we go. CBP commissioner is having a press conference right now. So give me a second here. All right, folks, CBP commissioner is having a press conference right now. This was our original programming before the president came out. So we're going to go to it right now. Here we go. Let's see. Here we go. All right. So here we go, folks. This is live footage from CBP, where CBP commissioner is going to have a press conference regarding the border in Mexico, the government shutdown, and how it affects people from CBP, Border Patrol, and stuff like that. So stay tuned, folks. It should start in just a few minutes.
and proudly proclaim. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won, and the army goes rolling along. And it's high, high, hey, the army's on its way. Count off the cadence loud and strong. For wherever we go, you will always know that the army goes rolling along. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won, and the army goes rolling along. And it's high, high, hey, the army's on its way. Count off the days on its run. For wherever we go, you will always know that the army goes rolling along.
All right, folks, stand by as we get more footage. I don't know what happened. I didn't even notice how it was on. Too many things going on at the exact same time, folks. Kind of difficult. So give me a second as we see if we can get back the footage. Hopefully the live view unit is okay. Just give me a second, folks, as we get everything ready for you. All right, folks, stay tuned. We think that it might have been... We're getting more information on what happened, folks, because it's said to have started already, and we had the live footage, but it just... Now it's not available. So stay tuned, folks. We'll make sure to see what's going on. Thank you. All right, folks. So we have some more information now. So the CBP commissioner press conference that was going to take place today, right now, it was supposed to be happening now. It got postponed into further notice because of the president's surprise visit to the White House press briefing room regarding immigration, regarding the government shutdown, the border patrol, the barrier on the border between Mexico and the United States. So CBP has postponed the press conference of the commissioner because of President Trump's surprise visit to the White House. So we will be uploading the whole White House press briefing because it was a surprise one on the channel in just a few minutes. So if you guys liked our coverage, you guys enjoyed our coverage, then please subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and we hope that you guys join us on our next live stream. If it comes up that the CBP commissioner is going to have the press briefing later on today or maybe even tomorrow, then we will be bringing it to you live here at Golden State Times. We knew that there was going to be a press conference, but we did not know it was going to be from the President of the United States at the press briefing room at the White House. So that was his very first, the very first time that he actually gone to inside the press briefing room and addressed the press in that manner. So it's historic, folks. It's historic. And we brought it to you here live at Golden State Times before anybody else, folks. That's what we do here at Golden State Times, and we hope that you guys enjoyed. Again, the president's full speech is going to be on our channel, so make sure you guys check it out, and please share it on social media. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys here next time. Peace.